Right now, police are investigating a shooting downtown. What we know so far.
Plus, political ads have dominated screens. How much candidates spend, and is it effective? Good morning, everyone, and welcome to News 3 Now This Morning on this Monday. I'm Kyrie Unley.
And I'm Chris Stanford. Hope you had a wonderful weekend. I mean, we had some just gorgeous fall weather.
Yes, you can't complain really too much. Lots of trunk or treats this weekend. I'll say we got out and about to get to those with the little ones, and so it's just a good time that we didn't have to worry about those heavy coats.
Right. And you're feeling better. Welcome back.
Yes.
Good to have you back, partner.
Yes, throat a little still groggy, but yes, much better than last week. That is the plus here.
All right. Well, let's check in with Savannah Brito. She's out on the patio this morning with what we can expect when we step outside. Hey there.
Hey guys, lots of ups and downs in the forecast coming up over the next couple of days. It'll take us into Halloween. We're waking up though to the mid-lower 40s across Dane County. We're at 44 in Madison, 46 in Middleton, 42 though in Deerfield. There are plenty of areas though outside of Dane County waking up to the 30s though. Those mid to upper 30s and even that 31 cooler in Watoma this morning. That's one of the cooler temperatures. Janesville's at 45, Platteville also at 45 early. We're talking about near record warmth, not today, but as early as tonight when we could see near record warmth lows. That'll continue all the way until Wednesday. So yeah, temperatures are going to be about 30 degrees above average tomorrow afternoon. It'll be very warm across all of southern Wisconsin, but a strong cold front that'll drop our temperatures and then also allow gusts, winds to really increase today and tomorrow. Ahead of that front and after, we still are going to remain breezy, but that front though, that's going to be our focal point for showers and even some thunderstorms. We'll talk about when that's going to move out of here though, and if it could affect Thursday, Halloween at all, coming up a little later.
All right, Savannah, thank you. Madison police are investigating a shooting from downtown that left 2 people hurt.
It happened at Sabora's Fusion Grill off of State Street early yesterday morning. Gunshots injured a 28 and 31-year-old men.
Police say one man's injuries are not life-threatening. His condition is stable. They say the other man, though, is in critical but stable condition. A suspect is not in custody.
And also this morning, 3 juveniles are in the Juvenile Reception Center after allegedly beating a man at Easttown Mall. Police say a group of 7 juveniles approached a man who had just bought food. Police say they told him they were hungry, so the man gave them his fries. But the group demanded he give them all of his food. Police say the group threatened, then beat the man. He suffered minor injuries.
Now to spending in the Wisconsin Senate race. Republicans have spent $20 million on ad time. That is compared to $11 million from Democrats. In the presidential race, Republicans put $18.6 million into Wisconsin. Democrats spent $15.5 million. This week on For the Record, our Will Keneally asked what the difference in spending by party can mean.
So I think that generally speaking, the candidate with the most money is usually in a better position. That all being said, the parties, the committees, super PACs are going to spend money in places that they think it's needed as well. So usually when we see a lot more ad spending in a region like Wisconsin, it's because they think that those ads will make a difference in the end.
Along with ads, candidates have also used several other campaign tactics.
Especially in swing states like Wisconsin. These include rallies with candidates and surrogates, political ads, and interpersonal interactions. Political analysts weigh in on the impact of the different strategies.
I think that's simply because voters have seen so many ads now for so long, particularly with regard to the presidential and Senate races, that I do think they start to lose their effectiveness. But whereas somebody at your door, particularly a neighbor, making a contact, I think that will be the last thing you'll hear before you go and vote.
Analysts say that the ads likely won't end until the polls close on Election Day.
Now to the conflict in the Middle East. Sirens sounding in Israel as air defense activates. Trails of smoke seen rising into the sky in northern Israel, and explosions were heard shortly after. The Israeli Medical Service in the Upper Galilee region says emergency workers there were en route to search an area for the reported strike. No known casualties reported at this time.
This is after a truck slammed into a bus stop near Tel Aviv yesterday. 1 person is dead and more than 30 are injured. Israeli police say the attacker is an Arab citizen of Israel. Police say they neutralized the driver. Hamas praised the attack but did not take responsibility. It is being investigated as a terror attack. 1 month has passed since Hurricane Helene struck several southern states. It caused tens of billions worth of damage and wreaked havoc in many communities, including Asheville, North Carolina. And while the hurricane is gone, the aftermath remains. This week, students in Asheville are returning to the classroom with a modified schedule.
Focus isn't going to be jumping right back into academics, but really taking time to connect with their friends, to get back into a sense of normalcy in a gradual way. And then on Wednesday, we'll be back to our full schedules.
According to the superintendent of Asheville City Schools, none of the schools were damaged in the storm. However, running water from the pipes hasn't been deemed potable, so students can't drink it.
McDonald's is putting the Quarter Pounder back on the menu nationwide. McDonald's says that the beef patties are likely not the source of the E. coli outbreak, citing testing from the Colorado Department of Ag and other data. The CDC says that the outbreak has sickened at least 75 people in 13 states, including Wisconsin. Another source of the contamination could be onions, which are under recall. While the Quarter Pounders are back, they're without onions. Although McDonald's has ruled out the beef patties as the source, the CDC has not. CDC believes the continued risk to the public is very low.
Well, Halloween night does not have the same chill as it used to. A study by Climate Central of 216 U.S. cities finds October nights have warmed by an average of 3.3 degrees Fahrenheit since 1976. The city that saw the most change, Reno, Nevada. It's now 11.6 degrees warmer.
Boy, we're talking about colder Halloween temperatures here. That a cold front that you'd been tracking seems like it's going to come in a little bit earlier than forecasted originally.
Yeah, which give and take, some pros and cons, because if it did come in later, it'd be warmer, but then we'd be dealing with a stormy Halloween. So at least it'll be cooler, but we should be dry, at least for those trick-or-treat hours. But the storm, all of those are going to fire up west of here. That's along that cold front, and then that being the focal point in dropping our temperatures. But in front of that, we could have near record warmth. We'll talk about that coming up.
Take a look at the end of the...
Also ahead, the Packers coming back from Florida with a win. We'll have an update on Jordan Love's groin injury.
And it may be hard to believe, but Turkey Day is right around the corner. That means we're talking about our Thanksgiving basket drive. We're going to show you how you can make a difference and help someone in your community in the 608.
You're watching News 3 Now this morning, brought to you by Toyota.
Dear road rivals, no truck on the road drives value like the Tundra. Day after day, mile after mile, it all adds up to big savings under the hood. What's under yours? Toyota Tundra.
Right now, lease a new Tundra for $479 a month or get 3.99% APR for 72 months on a new Tundra. Find yours at Toyota.com. Toyota. Let's go places.
For 52 years, they've been trying to get Roe v. Wade into the states. I did a great service in doing it.
You want to talk about this is what people wanted? Pregnant women suffering from a miscarriage being denied care in an emergency room because the healthcare providers are afraid they might go to jail, and she's bleeding out in a car in the parking lot. The freedom to make decisions about one's own body should not be made by the government.
FFPAC is responsible for the content of this ad.
You have a clear choice in this election. Senator Baldwin is a 38-year career politician. I'm a businessman and job creator. She supports taxpayer benefits for illegal immigrants. I'll close the border. Tammy wants to put guys and girls sports in their bathrooms. I'll protect our daughters. Senator Baldwin abuses the political system. I'll fight the corruption. I'm Eric Hovde, and I approve this message. I'd be honored to have your vote.
Insanity. Doing the same thing over and over and expecting a different result.
Would you have done something differently than President Biden during the past 4 years?
There is not a thing that comes to mind.
Kamala wouldn't change a thing? Their weakness invited wars, welfare for illegals, while Americans struggle. Now Kamala wants higher taxes on top of higher prices. We can't afford 4 more years of Kamala.
I'm Donald J. Trump, and I approve this message. They've had 3.5 years to fix the border. Why hasn't she done it?
4 years, radical Kamala Harris created the border crisis.
Thousands of accused murderers, rapists, even terrorists pour in. Each crime they commit makes American victims. Innocent victims of Kamala's open border agenda. They were bludgeoned, raped, strangled, stabbed, shot, and murdered. Kamala created the border crisis. She won't fix it now. Make America Great Again, Inc. is responsible for the content of this advertising.
We count on gasoline to power our cars, our tractors, our way of life. So why is a city slicker from Miami, Elizabeth Groppe, okay banning gas-powered vehicles? Extremists like Groppe want to eliminate fossil fuels, robbing hard-working families, farmers, and small businesses of their vehicles. Miami Liz's radical ideas hurt our families and our main streets. Don't let Groppe get away with it. Born and raised right here. Todd Novak is our independent voice for common sense, protecting our way of life.
We know what Joan Ballwig wants to do. Ban abortion and birth control. That's it. That's her plan. Sarah Kieski is focused on bringing costs down, and she has real plans to lower the cost of healthcare and housing, prescription drugs, and to cut your taxes. So if you want a candidate focused on banning abortion and birth control, that's Joan Ballwig. For everyone else, there's Sarah Kieski. She's running for state senate to finally bring costs down.
I'm sick and tired of getting ripped off by career politicians. And Tammy Baldwin, she's one of the worst. Baldwin's in bed with Wall Street. While she sleeps in her girlfriend's $1 million condo in New York City, Wisconsin families are getting hammered by high inflation and handouts for illegal immigrants. Tammy and her girlfriend are living large while Wisconsin families foot the bill. Frankly, it's time for Tammy Baldwin to go.
I'm Eric Upty, and I approve this message. Join my team and give today.
You're watching News 3 Now this morning. Moving forward.
In the 608, we are once again proud to sponsor the Thanksgiving Basket Drive as we hope to help the community get what they need to enjoy the holiday with their families.
That's right. Josh Spider is live at the Goodman Community Center in Madison this morning. Hello there.
Hey guys, good morning. We're at the food pantry here at the Goodman Community Center this morning as we are proud to once again partner for the Thanksgiving Basket Drive. Halloween just a couple of days away, and that means we're talking turkey with Francesca Friss this morning. Francesca, good morning to you.
Good morning, Josh.
So it's hard to believe that we're here. It feels like it's only been a minute since we were here talking about this last time, but now is the time to help you guys out in helping the community.
Yeah, so we've registered over 4,000 families to receive a Thanksgiving basket from us, and now it's the chance for the community to kind of engage and start to set up food drives, start to donate some funds so we can make all of this happen.
So our goal this year is 4,000 baskets, and it's important to note that we had the fastest registration fill up in the history of 36 years here for the Goodman Community Center. So that's probably saying something about the need here in our community.
100%. We're seeing it in our food pantry every week. I think we see it out in our community. The food insecurity is kind of at its highest. And so this is a great way to make sure that people can have this holiday meal together.
So we're putting all those fixings together. What exactly are you looking for?
So there's some things we've already purchased, and that's where those financial donations come in. But the things that we're asking our community to help with are right here. So we're hoping for stuffing, vegetable oil, cranberry sauce, gravy, mac and cheese, canned veggies, and broth.
So some things that are pretty easy to do. So when you're out and about, just pick up one of those, and every little thing is going to make a difference for you.
Yeah, it all adds up. It's really fun to see how it all comes together each year.
What is the time frame? When do you need these donations by?
We're going to start to distribute the food the weekend before Thanksgiving, so people have some time to plan. You can start to drop those things off November 18th at Goodman Community Center. So right now we're just hoping to get the word out so people can start to reach out to their friends, their family, their neighbors to see if they can get some food for us.
You know, what are you hearing from these families that are coming in for this assistance? Because a lot of them have kids, they want to be able to provide a proper holiday for their family, right?
I think it takes a lot of stress off of them. They were worried about, would I be able to afford the turkey, or, you know, would it be a bare minimum kind of a meal? This is a way for them to still celebrate that holiday without the stress of it.
And, you know, when you think about just that simple meal, it takes a village to be able to pull this off, right?
It does, yeah. It's a lot of people every year. This is a tradition for them to help us out. and we appreciate that.
So now's the time to be able to make a donation. Like you mentioned, you can have the physical donations, financial donations. You're also looking for volunteers too.
Yeah, so this event runs with over 600 volunteers. Our website has those opportunities listed there. Most of them are filled up because it's really popular for folks, but there's always a few more that we need.
Always some way to be able to make a difference here in the community.
Definitely.
All right, Francesca, thank you so much for your time.
Thank you.
Of course, News 3 Now, as we mentioned, is a proud sponsor, so you can find everything you need to know for the Thanksgiving Basket Drive on channel3000.com. So we can help 4,000 area families this Thanksgiving, guys.
It's a lot of families. Can't do it without your help. All right, Josh Breider, thanks a lot.
Remember to let Josh know what inspires you in the 608. You can reach out either on social media or email us at inThe608@WISC-TV.com for a chance to be featured.
6:15. Savannah, what's it like outside?
It's not terrible, but we're really seeing clouds increase out there. 44 current temperature. Winds are going to continue to pick up all day today. So yeah, it's going to be a little breezy, and we're really not going to see those winds come down or calm down at all over the next about 48 hours. By noon, 59, winds increasing to about 13 miles per hour, but gusts, those are going to be a little bit higher than that. Let's talk about the near record warmth that we're going to see as early as tonight. Our record 63 that was set back in 1946, our forecast 61. So we'll come within 2 degrees of tying that. Tuesday, our record 82, the forecast tomorrow afternoon 81. So again, 1 degree coming close to that. Tuesday night, that's for certain that we're going to break that. The record was set back in 1901, 58. Our forecast 67, so we'll beat that by nearly 10 degrees. That's thanks to the cold front that's west of here that's going to spark some showers Wednesday, but another very warm day before that front makes its way here and the storm chances increase. Wednesday's forecast 77, our record 78 degrees. So very close. Nonetheless, we'll be at least near records, but I do think we're going to break that Tuesday night. So that focal point, the cold front, that's actually going to spark some snow out in Denver and Salt Lake City, higher elevations, the Rockies, places like that that see a sharp decline in temperatures. That's on the northwest side of the cold front and the low pressure system. For us, though, at least west of Wichita and Omaha, that's when those showers are going to develop with that cold front. They really look to fire off, though, especially east of Omaha, Wichita, and around Minneapolis. But notice this line stretching Omaha all the way south of Wichita. I think that's the focal point for strong to severe thunderstorms. Yes, we're talking about storms here making its way in. That was this evening or Wednesday evening and then into early Thursday morning. So yes, the early morning Halloween hours, but you can see the line more prominent southwest of here. That's where I think the better chance of storm activity is going to be. We'll definitely probably have some pockets of heavier rain, maybe some lightning and thunder, possibly gusty winds and some smaller hail, but definitely going to see a larger impact southwest of here. The biggest impact for us, that sharp drop in temperatures, 81 Tuesday down to 51 though Thursday.
The Packers flew south this weekend to play the Jacksonville Jaguars, and it was a good news, bad news kind of day for Green Bay. The good news is they won. The bad news, they were forced to do it, at least for most of the game, without Jordan Love. Love came up limping a couple of times throughout the game, but early in the third, it was this hit that was the final blow. He missed the rest of the game with a groin injury. The Jags tied it up late in the fourth, and Malik Willis, he stepped up and did the job. Finds Jaden Reed, one of just 2 catches on the day for the speedster, but this one was big. 51-yard gain would set up this. A field goal try for Brandon McManus, and in his second game as a Packer, he hits his second walk-off field goal. Green Bay wins it 30-27. LaFleur said he didn't exactly know about the severity of Love's injury in this 30-27 victory for Green Bay, in which was an all-around day. But in terms of that injury, he did say this.
Obviously, high level of concern anytime a guy is in there, and he did it early in that first drive, and I think everybody could see him struggling to move around, and it got to a point where we didn't feel like, and he didn't feel like he could protect himself. So went with Malik, and can't say enough great things about Malik Willis, the job that he's able to do to go in there. You know, the moment's never too big for him.
That's your morning sports fix. Have a magnificent Monday.
Still ahead, we'll dig into one of the referendums for our Dane County School District.
Coming up in our next half hour, a giant statue of former President Trump in Madison. We'll see how folks reacted.
And as we head to break, a look at gas prices this morning. Time now 6:19. We'll be right back.
Need help with a consumer issue? Contact News 3 Now's Call for Action.
The other side is lying to scare you. Truth is, Joan Ballweg is a champion for women's health care. She fought hard to expand healthcare access for postpartum moms and supports access for IVF and birth control. We're voting for Joan Ballweg because she votes for women like us.
California banker Eric Hovde has a plan that helps him and hurts you.
Here's the math. Hovde proposed $4 trillion in new tax cuts for rich people like him.
And we pay for Hovde's tax breaks with a 28% cut to Social Security and a 25% cut to Medicare.
Hovde even said he would raise the retirement age.
You have to start changing the retirement age.
Eric Hovde still helping himself and hurting you.
Win Senate is responsible for the content of this ad.
Washington is corrupt. Senator Baldwin says she fights against Wall Street, and yet she lives with a Wall Street executive and gets all this money from Wall Street. She says she's standing up to Big Pharma and Big Tech, but look at the money she rakes in from Big Pharma, Big Tech, and their executives. Senator Baldwin doesn't work for you, she works for them. I'm Eric Hovde, I approve this message. I'm not taking their special interest money, I'll only work for you.
Insanity. Doing the same thing over and over and expecting a different result.
Would you have done something differently than President Biden during the past 4 years?
There is not a thing that comes to mind.
Kamala wouldn't change a thing. Their weakness invited wars, welfare for illegals, while Americans struggle. Now Kamala wants higher taxes on top of higher prices. We can't afford 4 more years of Kamala.
I'm Donald J. Trump, and I approve this message.
I'm Elizabeth Grabby, and this is home. Whether it was saving our family farm, starting my small business, or standing up to utility rate hikes, I've learned to solve problems by bringing people together. And right now, we have some real problems to solve. Corporations jacking up prices, and extreme politicians banning abortion. I'm Elizabeth Grabby, and together we can bring down costs and protect the right to make our own medical decisions.
I'm Tammy Baldwin, and I approve this message.
I am a strong believer in pro-life. I am totally opposed to abortion.
Eric Hovde supports abortion bans. Republican extremists in the Senate already want to ban abortion nationwide. No exceptions for rape or incest. They want more anti-abortion judges. And to even make birth control and IVF illegal.
I am totally opposed to abortion.
We can't trust Eric Hovde.
What would a Trump second term look like? It's all laid out in his Project 2025 agenda. He'd let insurance companies deny coverage for pre-existing conditions, cut Social Security and Medicare, and give tax cuts to billionaires, while the middle class pays the price with lower income and higher costs. Because for Trump, it's all about getting unchecked power while you pay the price. Donald Trump, more unhinged, unstable, and unchecked.
I'm Kamala Harris, and I approve this message.
Sarah Kieski, she supports lifting revenue limits, allowing property tax rates to skyrocket unchecked. Kieski's backers want to ban natural gas to heat our homes, driving utility bills through the roof. That's Kieski's record, expensive and extreme.
We're back. One of the school districts going to referendum next week is Mount Horeb Schools. This morning, Superintendent Dr. Steve Salerno is here to talk with us about it. Thanks for joining us this morning, Dr. Salerno.
Thank you.
So when it comes to the referendum, we'll just fill people in here real quick. It's $34 million in additions and renovations to the primary center in Mount Horeb and other building improvements. What are the tax impacts for the property owners in Mount Horeb?
Yeah, the maximum exposure is about 38 cents, excuse me, about 68 cents per $1,000 of equalized value, which amounts to about $1 a day.
Okay. What's at stake here? Why this project, and what happens if voters turn it down?
Well, we don't have a plan C. This is our plan B, and we want to be purposeful in expressing the importance of being able to address our long-range facility plan. The community has been so supportive of our schools in our grades 1 through 12, and now we need to look at our earliest learning center. The focus of this referendum is on 3 main areas, the first of which is instructional spaces for our youngest learners, our kindergarten learners. Our building systems and infrastructure, heating and roofing. And then lastly is safety and accessibility. And so we're hopeful that we can get to a yes on this.
You know, we're talking about dollars here, you know, $34 million. I mean, there could be sticker shock for some people. Yes. These dollar amounts keep going up year after year, but you have to keep in mind that, you know, it doesn't get any cheaper to borrow. Mm-hmm. The cost of everything is going up. So what do you have to say to the folks out there who might look at $34 million and think, wow, this is a lot for one building?
I can absolutely appreciate that concern. It's a fair concern. It's one that's not lost on us. But I do believe that it's never cheaper for us to be able to move forward with the community's long-range plan. We did not make these decisions in a vacuum. We consulted with about 40 members of our facility steering committee that helped guide the recommendation to the Board of Education. And we believe that this will only lift property values when you have strong schools. You have stronger property values, and as a result, we have a better citizenry ready to do good work for the United States.
How's the office feeling about everything?
Well, you know, we're going to be biting our nails, I think, until November 5th in the evening, but we do appreciate everybody who's already come out to vote, come to our informational sessions. We have a number of videos and podcasts on our district's website that we hope that people might consider watching.
Yeah, great resources to get more informed about it. A number of videos, and you do a pretty good job of breaking everything down.
Thank you very much.
Dr. Salerno, thank you so much for your time this morning.
Appreciate you.
Appreciate it. Good luck on the 5th.
Thank you.
We're back right after this.
News 3 Now First Warn Weather is brought to you by Lazy Boy Home Furnishings and Decor.
Discover a shopping and design experience as comfortable as the furniture. Lazy Boy Home Furnishings and Decor. Schedule your free design consultation today.
I'm Joan Ballweg, and I'm here to set the record straight. I support birth control, the life and health of mothers, extending postpartum care, and fertility treatments, including IVF. I'm Joan Ballweg. I have always fought for Wisconsin moms, and I always will.
I'm sick and tired of getting ripped off by career politicians. And Tammy Baldwin, she's one of the worst. Baldwin's in bed with Wall Street. While she sleeps in her girlfriend's $1 million condo in New York City, Wisconsin families are getting hammered by high inflation and handouts for illegal immigrants. Tammy and her girlfriend are living large while Wisconsin families foot the bill. Frankly, it's time for Tammy Baldwin to go.
I'm Eric Huffey, and I approve this message. Join my team and give today.
With high inflation, working families like mine are hurting, and Kamala Harris helped create this mess. Now, while Americans struggle, Kamala spent our tax dollars putting illegal immigrants up in hotel rooms, and she supported spending our tax dollars to give illegals sex changes. It's not just liberal, it's insane. Kamala Harris can never, ever be our president.
Preserve America PAC is responsible for the content of this advertising.
We know what Joan Ballweg wants to do. Ban abortion and birth control. That's it. That's her plan. Sarah Kieski is focused on bringing costs down, and she has real plans to lower the cost of healthcare and housing, prescription drugs, and to cut your taxes. So if you want a candidate focused on banning abortion and birth control, that's Joan Ballweg. For everyone else, there's Sarah Kieski. She's running for state senate to finally bring costs down.
Technology is everywhere, and our kids are embracing it to learn, play, and socialize. But with endless ways to access the digital world, monitoring their screen time can be tough. So SSM Health and News 3 Now created the Time for Kids digital playbook. Join us on air and online for stories and strategies to help your family navigate, set rules, and stay safe in the ever-evolving digital age. Let's focus on tech together by taking Time for Kids.
Eric Hovde's trying to scare you. The truth is, no sex change surgeries take place on minors in Wisconsin. 0. And Tammy Baldwin didn't give funding to a transgender clinic. It's actually a youth homeless shelter. Eric Hovde knows that. But he's a billionaire banker who thinks he can lie about anything, including falsely attacking Tammy Baldwin by questioning her personal life. Wisconsin's better than Eric Hovde.
I'm Tammy Baldwin, and I approve this message.
Insanity. Doing the same thing over and over and expecting a different result.
Would you have done something differently than President Biden during the past 4 years?
There is not a thing that comes to mind.
Kamala wouldn't change a thing. Their weakness invited wars, welfare for illegals, while Americans struggle. Now Kamala wants higher taxes on top of higher prices. We can't afford 4 more years of Kamala.
I'm Donald J. Trump, and I approve this message.
Sarah Kieski, she supports lifting revenue limits, allowing property tax rates to skyrocket unchecked. Kieski's backers want to ban natural gas to heat our homes, driving utility bills through the roof. That's Kieski's record, expensive and extreme.
Right now, more new polling on the presidential election. The role gender is playing, with the election now just 8 days away.
Plus, a giant statue of former President Donald Trump and making a stop in Madison. What people said about the barely dressed depiction.
Good morning, everyone. Welcome to News 3 Now this morning on a Monday. I'm Chris Stanford.
And I'm Kyrie Unley alongside meteorologist Savannah Brito. Thanks for waking up with us this morning. It seems like all of us had a chance to get out and about over the weekend.
Yeah. Put the kids to work, rake some leaves.
You did?
I'm kidding. You know, that's one of their highlights of the fall is to get a great big pile of leaves together and then, you know, dive in.
Jump into I mean, have you lived if you had? Like everyone has to do that as a kid.
Yeah, you get a little bit of free labor along with it, which is kind of nice.
Yeah, there was a lot of my neighbors that were doing that over the weekend, and I was so tempted to go jump in. I'm like, all right, Savannah, you're
like you're gonna ruin it. Yeah, you're gonna ruin it for
her. Never too old to jump in a pile of leaves.
Yeah, maybe her own pile.
Yeah,
her neighbors might not like that.
You got out too.
Yeah, we got out and about to some trunk or treats over the weekend, the UW homecoming parade, and then got to MC an event for the NAACP of Dane County. So yeah, it was a busy weekend overall for everyone.
Yeah, and fall-like, and we're gonna see a really big change in temperatures though over the next couple of days. It will not feel fall-like out there at all. As early as today, we're back to pushing the mid to maybe even a couple spots topping out in the upper 60s. That's still not as warm as what we're talking about tomorrow. We're gonna have temperatures push the 80-degree mark. That'll carry into Wednesday too, maybe not 80, but still tracking the upper 70s. Near record warmth tonight through Wednesday. Gusts are going to be pretty strong. We're going to see winds push that 30-mile-per-hour range today and maybe even about 40 miles per hour or so tomorrow. So overall windy next 48 hours. Winds right now are gusting up to about 15 miles per hour, so not as high as what we'll see later in the day or tomorrow. Heavy rain then tracks in Wednesday. That'll move into Halloween. We'll talk about if that could affect the trick-or-treat hours and exactly how much rain we could be talking about for parts of southwestern Wisconsin coming up in just a bit, guys.
All right, thank you. In our 3 for the People coverage this morning, with 8 days to go, we are running down all the campaign visits scheduled for Wisconsin.
Republican vice presidential nominee J.D. Vance will make 2 stops in the Badger State today. Vance will visit Wausau this afternoon at 2. He'll then speak in Racine this evening at 5:30. And also today, Minnesota's First Lady Gwen Walz and First Lady Dr. Jill Biden will stop in La Crosse. Meanwhile, Senator Bernie Sanders will make a stop in Oshkosh today. Then he'll head here to Madison for a rally with Representative Alexandria Ocasio-Cortez.
Both of the nominees will be in Wisconsin on Wednesday. Vice President Harris will hold a rally at UW-Madison where several musical artists will join her. Meanwhile, former President Trump will be in Green Bay. That event will happen at the Resch Center starting at 6 o'clock Wednesday evening. Former Packers quarterback Brett Favre will speak at the event. You can follow the campaign visits with the Channel 3000 mobile app. Download it wherever you get your apps.
Both presidential campaigns continue to turn to high-profile names to reach voters. Actor Adam Brody is the latest to do so for the Harris campaign. He attended a canvassing event in Madison. The star of the OC spoke to voters alongside other volunteers. He says this election is a once-in-a-generation level of importance.
We're at a volunteer event here. People are knocking on doors. Let me humbly ask that you do too, through phone calls, through door knocking, through donating, because This is a historical, once in a generation, we're at the precipice of something so big. This will be in the history books. We'll talk about it forever. We'll unpack this moment forever. So take this one last week you have and, you know, own it and put your stamp on it and be proud of what you did for the rest of your life.
Brody currently stars in the Netflix series Nobody Wants This.
Stars are turning out as well for former President Trump. His campaign rallied supporters last night at Madison Square Garden. Speakers included X and Tesla CEO Elon Musk, TV host Dr. Phil, and former wrestler Hulk Hogan.
And for 40 years, I've always asked the question, what you gonna do? Over and over and over again, what you gonna do? Well, today, after feeling the energy in this building, I finally got the answer. And the answer is, vote for Trump.
Hulk Hogan competed in several wrestling events at Madison Square Garden in his career. A banner honoring him and his 30-year career hangs in the rafters at the Garden.
New this morning, a CBS News poll shows the race between Harris and Trump is as close as it's ever been. And that's the case both nationally and in battleground states.
However, numbers show the largest gender gap in voter support this year. Our Michelle Renee Quinn is here with what the new polling says. Michelle Renee?
Good morning. That's right. You can see the numbers behind me here. CBS polling says men are more likely to say efforts in the U.S. to promote gender equality have gone too far as of late. When they do, they're voting overwhelmingly for Trump, whereas women are more likely to say those efforts haven't gone far enough, and they are overwhelmingly voting for Harris. Now, this polling from October 23rd to the 25th looks at likely voters. 55% of women and 45% of men are likely to support Harris. When looking at Trump, the numbers are almost exactly flipped. 43% of women and 54% of men support Trump. Now, when looking at racial impacts of this race, the percentage of likely voters who say the U.S. is ready to elect a black woman as president has risen to 74%. And while the majority of that includes people who are voting for Harris, it also does include many who are not.
All right, those numbers continue to change as we are just 8 days away. Michelle Renee, thank you.
Absolutely.
If you drove down Pennsylvania Avenue in Madison, you might have seen this, a 43-foot tall Donald Trump statue. Our Mel Hubbard gives us a closer look at the depiction of the former president.
Whether it's for better or for worse, this traveling naked Trump is certainly getting people talking.
I think it's great. I think it shows the man for who he really is, which is not a great guy.
It's insane. It's huge. A little disturbing.
I wish it had a little bit of clothes on it.
This 6,000-pound, all-exposing sculpture is made up of foam and rebar, and it popped up in Madison on Friday. But this isn't the first city the naked figure has streaked through.
Yeah, I think it's going to be in big cities that are big, swing, controversial cities.
Seen in Las Vegas, Phoenix, Detroit, and now Madison, this hovering structure has sparked people's interest in its artist and the message.
I thought, wow, someone's finally showing him for who he is. And I think the artist is brilliant.
An anonymous artist deems this the crooked and obscene tour. The unknown organizers say they want viewers to question the transparency or lack thereof in politics, leaving it up to interpretation.
And for me, Trump represents somebody that doesn't care about America and is willing to do anything for self-serving purposes.
You'd like to think that your president is somebody you can look up to, but quite frankly, this is no worse than anything he himself has done.
Most people who stopped to take a look took joy out of the piece, but others thought it was a poor reflection of where we are at as a country.
You know, this is really shameful that we're depicting our own president like this, but again, this is no worse than what he's done himself.
By the end of Sunday, the naked Trump was taken down to travel elsewhere. From head to toe, it's packed up and ready for the next undisclosed location. Reporting in Madison, Meryl Hubbard, News 3 Now.
In response, supporters of the former president have called the sculpture despicable. 6:38 now. Packers quarterback Jordan Love will undergo tests today for a groin injury. He was sidelined in Jacksonville yesterday, but the Packers still got the win. Packers led at halftime. Jaguars with the ball driving downfield. 2nd and 5. Trevor Lawrence drops back, steps up. A laser right to Brian Thomas Jr. wide open in the end zone for the score. Jaguars now in the lead. Jordan Love had been performing pretty well in recent weeks. Love, though, hurt himself on the opening drive, re-aggravated it here. So in comes Malik Willis, who's already led the team to 2 wins this season. Final 2 minutes, all tied up. Willis, all the time in the world, connects to a wide-open Jordan Reed. That's good for 51 yards, and it puts the green and gold in field goal range. So look at this guy. Second game with the team. Brandon McManus chips it in from 24 yards out to seal the deal. Packers squeak it out 30-27 and move to 6-2 on the season.
All right, another close one. I'm sure you Packers fans were on the edge of your seat.
Oh, we're used to it, though. We squeak out a lot of them.
But that's okay.
Yeah,
Got that win.
Your Chiefs got a big W yesterday.
Yeah, another one, 7-0. So things are looking up for Mahomes, Travis Kelce, everyone there. So we'll see how the big game turns out.
Yeah, Packers fans loving the end of that Bears game yesterday. That was that's a tip that went our way.
Yeah, Savannah.
Very sad.
Yeah, Savannah was on the end.
2 out of our 3 teams won.
Yes.
Wish it was 3 for 3.
Yeah. Well, we'll see what this Jordan Love injury looks like. Hopefully we learn more today coming out of Green Bay after those tests when it's growing.
Yeah. Well, coming up after the break, we have the final count in this year's Coats for Kids.
And we will have at least near record warmth as early as tonight through Wednesday. We will definitely be setting a new record warm low Tuesday night. We'll talk about how warm that's going to be.
And later, we're asking for help with all of the fixings for the Thanksgiving basket drive. We're partnering once again with the Goodman Community Center to help area families. We'll show you how you can help in the 608.
During COVID, Joan Balwig took $500,000 in federal loans she never paid back. Then voted to block assistance to help other Wisconsin businesses grow. Joan Balwig, out for herself, not you.
California banker Eric Hovde has a plan that helps him and hurts you.
Here's the math. Hovde proposed $4 trillion in new tax cuts for rich people like him.
And we pay for Hovde's tax breaks with a 28% cut to Social Security and a 25% cut to Medicare.
Hovde even said he would raise the retirement age.
You have to start changing the retirement age.
Eric Hovde, still helping himself and hurting you.
Win Senate is responsible for the content of this ad.
I'm Tammy Baldwin, and I approve this message.
I am a strong believer in pro-life. I am totally opposed to abortion.
Eric Hovde supports abortion bans. Republican extremists in the Senate already want to ban abortion nationwide. No exceptions for rape or incest. They want more anti-abortion judges. And to even make birth control and IVF illegal.
I am totally opposed to abortion.
We can't trust Eric Hovde.
They've had 3.5 years to fix the border. Why hasn't she done it?
For years, radical Kamala Harris created the border crisis. Thousands of accused murderers, rapists, even terrorists pour in. Each crime they commit makes American victims. Innocent victims of Kamala's open border agenda. They were bludgeoned, raped, strangled, stabbed, shot, and murdered. Kamala created the border crisis. She won't fix it now. Make America Great Again, Inc. is responsible for the content of this advertising.
Insanity. Doing the same thing over and over and expecting a different result.
Would you have done something differently than President Biden during the past 4 years?
There is not a thing that comes to mind.
Kamala wouldn't change a thing? Their weakness invited wars, welfare for illegals, while Americans struggle. Now Kamala wants higher taxes on top of higher prices. We can't afford 4 more years of Kamala.
I'm Donald J. Trump, and I approve this message.
Not of money, I know. 20 of you, and you're rich as hell. We're going to give you tax cuts. We're going to pay you.
I am not rich as hell. I work hard. I scrape to get by. Donald Trump wants to give tax breaks to billionaires, but Kamala Harris has plans to help us. She's going to crack down on price gouging and cut taxes for working people like me. I voted for Donald Trump before, but this time I'm voting for Kamala.
FF PAC is responsible for the content of this ad.
I work hard and do things the right way. Tammy Baldwin doesn't. She pretends she's standing up for the working people. But the truth is, she's cozying up to Wall Street. Baldwin's girlfriend is a Wall Street executive who helps the rich avoid paying taxes and benefited from the massive bailouts Tammy voted for. Tammy and her girlfriend get richer while we struggle. Tammy Baldwin is a fraud.
I'm Eric Hovde, and I approve this message. Join my team and give today.
This is China, and this is Wisconsin. Joan Ballwig invested thousands of dollars in Chinese companies, but voted against using state funds to help grow companies here in Wisconsin. Joan Ballwig, out for herself, not you.
You're watching News 3 Now this morning. Moving forward.
Well, good morning, everyone. Thanks to a decent amount of cloud cover now moving in, that's actually allowing temperatures to not fall as much tonight. 44 in Madison, 45 in Oregon, 47 in Middleton. So we're warmer than normal, but there are some places that have fallen into those 30s. We're sitting at 39 in Fond du Lac, 31 in Watoma, 39 in Boscobel. So most of southern Wisconsin is waking up to a mild morning, but not quite as warm as what we're going to see following that tonight, and especially Tuesday night into early Wednesday morning. Our next system, that's going to be along a strong cold front that's going to play a major role in our temperature drop between what we see tomorrow and then into Halloween, unfortunately, on Thursday. Snow for the higher elevations over Denver, Salt Lake City, the Rocky Mountains. As that system moves closer to us, these will form along a cold front. The showers that are out west of Wichita and Omaha, 9 a.m. Wednesday. Then we're going to see these storms really fire off once they near that area and then eastward. That's where the best chance of severe weather is going to be, and at least stronger storms. I think southwest of our area, you can see this line pretty much holding together, but breaking up for us at least a little bit. We could see some gusty winds and hail, should stay below severe limits though, but nonetheless, Wednesday evening into the early nighttime hours, that's when that's going to be west of here. And then we're looking at past midnight into early Halloween morning. I think we're going to see that break up by the time trick-or-treaters head out though. Long before that, into the lunchtime hour Thursday, we could see a couple of spotty showers behind it, but nonetheless a fall and big drop in our temperatures. 51 on Halloween. Our hottest high or temperature on Halloween, 77. Average is 53, our coldest 30, snowiest 4 inches. That was back in 2019. No snows in the forecast. Those showers in the early morning hours up until maybe at the latest lunchtime should be dry for the rest of the day. But like I said, temperature is really going to fall from that cold front.
Rain showers.
Yeah, rain,
Got
not
it.
snow.
Not yet.
Yes.
No.
It's like don't be changing it up.
Just clarifying.
Just the rain.
It's that time of year. We got to start clarifying these things. All right, thanks, Savannah.
You're welcome.
In the 608, News 3 Now is once again proud to partner up for this year's Thanksgiving basket drive. We're hoping to help the community get what they need to enjoy the holiday with their families.
Josh Sprider is live at the Goodman Community Center in Madison this morning. How's it going, Josh?
Hey guys, good morning. Yeah, we're at the food pantry this morning, learning how we can make a difference right here, right now, because there are a lot of families that want to be able to have Thanksgiving dinner on the table, and Francesca Frisk with Goodman Community Center is going to help us do that.
Good
Francesca,
morning.
good morning to you. So we got to mention, you know, the goal was 4,000 baskets for families this year, and registration filled up faster than it ever has in the 36 years that we've been doing this.
Yeah, I think we're doing a great job of getting the word out, but the bigger issue is that a lot of people in our community are facing food insecurity right now.
So that's what this Thanksgiving basket drive is going to help alleviate that, at least for the Thanksgiving holiday. So how can folks help with that?
Yeah, so we are asking our community to come together to help host food drives or donate food themselves, donate money. On the table today, we have the items that we're looking for from our community, as well as a turkey and broth. Financial donations help pay for the things that we've already purchased to support this.
So there are some multiple ways to be able to do that. Obviously, the physical donations like this, as easy as just picking up a couple of these items at the grocery store. But that's financial donation. Sometimes you guys can take that a little bit further and buy some items in bulk.
Yeah, definitely. We have great relationships with buyers, so we can get things at really low cost. And when you're buying something in a quantity of 4,000, you can make some pretty good deals.
You know, for the Thanksgiving basket drive, you guys obviously been doing this for decades, but seeing the community come together for this event is pretty spectacular. Even the volunteers coming forward.
Yeah, it's a huge volunteer event, over 600 volunteers. We have lots of people that this is a family tradition, maybe to volunteer or host a food drive. Some of my favorite memories of this event are people bringing in their food drive donations. The elementary school down the street, the kids will load up their wagon and walk down and bring the items over. Things like that are really amazing to see.
Talk about a local impact. I mean,
Yeah,
that's huge.
yeah.
And I know one of the recommendations you have is for folks to actually hold a food drive in their workplace. That's an easy way for them to be able to get some of this stuff together.
Definitely. Some of my favorite memories as a kid are thinking about Thanksgiving meal and the smells in the kitchen and the excitement of eating that big meal. And so this is just a way to kind of help our community that might not be able to have that meal.
All right, so obviously we're accepting those donations now. What's the time frame? When do people need to have all of the stuff in by?
We're going to hand out this food the weekend before Thanksgiving, so you have a bit of time. We're going to start collecting the items here at Goodman Center the week of November 18th.
Okay, crazy to think Thanksgiving's right around the corner with Halloween just a couple days away.
It sure is, yeah.
Awesome. Francesca, thank you so much. Of course, News 3 Now, as we mentioned, is a proud sponsor. You can find everything you need to know for the Thanksgiving basket drive on channel3000.com, including those physical donations, financial donations, and of course, how to volunteer, guys. So plenty of ways for you to be able to make a difference right here in the 608 this holiday season.
You guys got any favorites? What are your favorite fixins for Thanksgiving?
Ooh, I gotta have that dressing.
Oh.
I gotta have that, for
Dressing.
sure.
I'm with Kyrie
With the
on.
turkey, yes.
I love the dressing. But the actual, like, true dressing that my grandma used to make all the time, guys, oh my gosh. I could have that every single day.
Chef's kiss.
Good
Love
stuff.
it.
All right, Josh Breider, thanks, buddy. Josh is always looking for inspiration to share with you folks in the 608. Reach out on social media if you have an idea that you'd like to see featured.
Well, we've been promising to share with you the final tally in our Coats for Kids campaign. And here's the numbers. The big reveal, 4,072 coats.
Nice. Pretty good.
Yes. Fantastic job. Thank you to everyone for donating, whether you made a physical or financial donation or bought from our Amazon wish list. But we especially want to thank Colony Brands for donating over 1,000 coats.
Whoa.
Way to go. Next year will be our 40th Coats for Kids drive, and we're looking forward to it. 4 decades.
Hey, 4,000 coats, that is a heck of a lot of coats.
Yes.
Think of all the kids and the families that's going to impact. Couldn't have done it without you. Thank you.
Well, coming up in the morning sprint, the world's progress in meeting the goals of the Paris Climate Accord.
Got a little kid turning 3 soon. Send us a picture like Josie's family did. Josie Maxine, happy 3rd birthday, kiddo. We're back right after this.
Sponsored by Three Bears Resort, Indoor Water Park and Conference Center in Warrens, Wisconsin.
The other side is lying to scare you.
Truth is, Joan Ballweg is a champion for women's health care.
She fought hard to expand healthcare access for postpartum moms.
And supports access for IVF and birth control.
We're voting for Joan Ballweg because she votes for women like us.
Growing up here in southeast Wisconsin, hard work and getting things done are in Brian Stiles' DNA. It's why Stile is recognized as a problem solver in Congress. He's fighting for Wisconsin families every day, combating high prices at the grocery store and gas pump. And Brian Stile is protecting Social Security and Medicare because you've earned it. Brian Stile, getting it done for southeast Wisconsin. Fair Shake is responsible for the content of this ad.
Insanity. Doing the same thing over and over and expecting a different result.
Would you have done something differently than President Biden during the past 4 years?
There is not a thing that comes to mind.
Kamala wouldn't change a thing? Their weakness invited wars, welfare for illegals, while Americans struggle. Now Kamala wants higher taxes on top of higher prices. We can't afford 4 more years of Kamala.
I'm Donald J. Trump, and I approve this message.
We need leadership focused on addressing rising costs, prioritizing quality schools. But Elizabeth Robbie, endorsed by a group that would take power away from local school boards and put state bureaucrats in charge. And Robbie's backed by extremists who wanted to defund the police. Elizabeth Robbie, dangerously out of touch. Todd Novak is our trusted independent voice, helping families with rising costs, delivering funding for local law enforcement and emergency services, investing in rural broadband and our schools. Todd Novak for Assembly.
When I was 27, I was diagnosed with MS. That's life-altering news. I had to prioritize my health and start taking medication. Back then, these cost $6,000 a year. Now the generics cost 5 times that. Senator Baldwin claims she's fighting to lower drug prices, but she's taking millions from Big Pharma and works for them. I'm not taking their money. I'm Eric Hovde, and I approve this message. I'll fight the corruption and lower drug prices because I've lived it.
When it comes to your critical medical decisions, you should have the final say. But extreme politician Joan Ballweg says you're wrong. She supports criminalizing abortion even after rape and incest. Or to save the life of the mother, Ballweg would jail doctors for giving life-saving care. And Ballweg even wrote the law that could deny women access to birth control. Joan Ballweg would put extreme politicians in charge of your body and put all Wisconsin women in danger.
Stanton Optical believes eye care should be affordable. Right now, for only $135, you get 2 pairs of progressives, plus all this. All that costs over $200 everywhere else. Book your eye exam today. Stanton Optical, easy's our thing. Welcome to Too Good to Guess. Can you guess how much 2 pairs of progressives, a free eye exam, and anti-glare lens upgrade will cost at Stanton Optical? Only $135? Wow, a deal so good, every customer wins. Book your eye exam at Stanton Optical today.
Sarah Kieski, she supports lifting revenue limits, allowing property tax rates to skyrocket unchecked. Kieski's backers want to ban natural gas to heat our homes, driving utility bills through the roof. That's Kieski's record, expensive and extreme.
Free for the people, only on News 3 Now.
6:54, time for the morning sprint.
Republican vice presidential nominee J.D. Vance will make 2 stops in the Badger State today. Vance will visit Wausau this afternoon at 2. He'll then speak in Racine this evening at 5:30. Also today, Minnesota's First Lady Gwen Walz and First Lady Dr. Jill Biden will stop in La Crosse. Senator Bernie Sanders will make stops in Oshkosh and Madison.
Madison police are investigating a shooting from downtown over the weekend. It left 2 people hurt early Sunday morning at Saboris Fusion Grill off of State Street. A 28-year-old man and a 31-year-old man suffered gunshot wounds. Police say one man's injuries are not life-threatening. The other man, though, is in critical but stable condition. A suspect is not in custody.
One person is recovering after being shot at a gas station in the town of Pleasant Springs. Dane County Sheriff's deputies responded to the BP gas station on County Highway N over the weekend. Deputies found a person with multiple gunshot wounds. Authorities are still trying to identify a suspect. They say there is no further threat to the public.
A primary goal of the Paris Climate Accord is slipping out of the world's grasp. The UN's emission gap report says global warming will reach 3.1 degrees Celsius. That is more than double the Accord's limit. The prediction is based on countries' current policies. The report says even if they followed said policies, it would not be enough.
Well, we're talking about very warm temperatures here locally, near record warmth as early as tonight, 61. So temperatures are going to be very mild the next several nights. And of course the afternoons. Look at the high tomorrow, 81. But we're down to 51 on Halloween.
And at the end of October is insane.
Crazy, yeah.
Yeah. I mean, I'll take it, but yeah, still crazy.
Back in 30 minutes.